Hi guys, how you guys doing? I just want to do some bed rant. This might be the most positive reaction, at least to me in my heart, that I've ever had to haters. I think it's more growth on my part than theirs. I'm just maturing and getting more self-confidence in the way I got some hate comments today, or just read them today or this morning, and I actually ended up defending myself to myself and in my comments back, and I actually feel like I've better than I did before I read the hate comment. Like I felt good to stand up for myself. The hate is becoming manageable on my end. Um, Someone said I'm being disrespectful because I don't play the solos note for note. I think the opposite. First of all, anybody can play shit from books, and probably everybody does, especially if they can't do anything else. LOL. I improvise, but I keep it in the same key and mode as the original solo, which is doing a nod to that. And I try to keep the same general gist of it. And in fact, the original artists were improvising like me. They weren't reading from a book like so many people can do now. So I'm doing what the original artist was doing, which is keeping their spirit alive, which is the spirit of rock improvisation. I was there, not there in the room, but I was there when people were improvising and talking about it in magazines, rock magazines, and everybody was saying that how they just winged the solo. They just played off the cuff. Jimmy Page was saying that. Eddie Van Halen was saying that. George Lynch. They all were talking about how they just took a certain take and kept that one because that was a good take. They weren't reading from a book like kids can do now. So I'm doing what they were doing, which is keeping their energy and spirit alive. And I am respectful in that I keep it in the context of the tune I'm playing in. And someone even said that on a tune called Man on the Silver Mountain. Sorry if my tone was bad. I kind of liked it actually. I listened to it several times for some reason. Um, uh, I play the melody parts like Richie does exactly though. When the song requires a melody, those arpeggios in that song, I played them just like Richie, maybe even better. I think Richie kind of trailed off a little bit and didn't play them as clean as I did, but whatever, even if that's not true. I did it like Richie did. I played those accurately because that's part of the song. You can't just improvise the song. That's just doing your own thing. But when it's time for the solo, then that's when you improvise. At least that's what I do. Not always. Sometimes sometimes I do the solo more accurate, more note for note if I want to. But if they weren't if they were improvising, then what the hell's wrong with me improvising? What we're in a new age of book nerds now that just read shit and parrot shit, and now that's called cool? Not to me, because I was there first of all when that wasn't how they did it, and that's how I still do it. And it's harder than just reading shit in a book and learning a Randy Rhoads solo just like he did. Nothing wrong with that. I'm nothing wrong with Randy Rhoads' solo, but I've nothing wrong. If all I'm doing is mimicking that, that takes like zero talent. It takes finger dexterity and being able to read a book. Well, I try to take it to another level, and I think I do, and 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 people don't, and you're not going to get me to, and even if all I said wasn't true, you don't get to tell me to respect someone else by disrespecting me. That's not generally what works. You give a little bit first. You don't just say, well, respect that guy. Well, screw you. Respect me then. If you don't respect me, I don't need to respect you and your opinion. And that's just my honest reaction to the hate I got today. And that's, I'm just being honest. I'm just doing, I'm going to do more music. And that's this for, I don't just bed rant for my channel, but right now I just felt like doing this. And someone else said something like, he called what I did on Crosstown Traffic remedial. Like, that's a put down. Well, first of all, what's wrong with being remedial? What do I have to do? Show everything I know in every single song and be a nerd? Otherwise, forget it? No. If that, I like what I like once in a while. First of all, I like the song Crosstown Traffic. I wasn't trying to be cerebral or intellectual. It sounded what I wanted it to. I picked that song because I wanted to sound like that song. And I think I rocked it. Problem, you know? Not every song has to be Not at the Opera, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody. That's great, but I picked Crosstown Traffic because that's the shit I always ignored growing up. I was so into the more complex tunes, you know, Purple Haze and you know, I never even thought of doing Crosstown Traffic. It's actually it's actually my music mentor said like 35 or 40 years ago to me, and I have the memory to remember what he said. It was DJ Alverson. Hi, DJ. He said, "You know, Jimmie, you got to pay some dues. Sometimes you got to play some. This is 40 years ago. He said this to me. He said, you got to play some Johnny Be Good for Money, Crosstown Traffic by Jimi Hendrix." He specifically said that as an idea that you got to start simple sometimes. It's okay to play simple first. Because I was off in the clouds doing Alan Holdsworth stuff, and he was telling me to learn Crosstown Traffic. Well, that was partly for you, DJ. He said to 40 years ago or 35 years ago, whatever the years ago that was. And I remember you saying it. And I thought, why not? Why, if I can't do what's wrong with doing Crosstown Traffic? It has to be what? Every song has to be Machine Gun? The song, not the Uzi. So, you know, and I rocked it the way I wanted to. The song, I mean, I don't know. I actually felt better after reading the hate I got today, and commenting and thinking about it. It actually encouraged me because it caused me to take a stand for what I do, and that's not a bad thing for a person's well-being and ego or health, whatever you want to call that, confidence, you know. So if the hate is going to encourage me, keep it up. Keep telling me little things I can knock down and tell you what I feel, because I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just responding to their hate. If you guys don't have to hate me on my channel. You guys don't have to say shit that's evil and bad and icky to me. But if you do, then I have the right to, I think, to respond how I feel, which may be ickiness to you, but you started it because you were icky first on my channel by giving me a hate comment. And most of you I don't even block. I haven't blocked anybody in a long time. So it's not like and I'm sorry, Sir John, for threatening that on you. That Sir John was the last time I threatened that. And I recanted, I apologized, and now he comments again, and I haven't said anything negative to him. It's not a word that I remember. I'm not trying to censor your right to speak, but then I have that right too. And in fact, I'm feeling strengthened by the process for the first time since I've had this channel for like 4 years. I've never rolled with the hate like I did this morning before. It's usually I either ignore it, which isn't doing anything, or I get all offended and butthurt, which is doing something negative. I spun it in a negative direction. I mean, a positive direction for me, and I'm really happy with it. So anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.